Thanks for tuning in. All right, I want to go over a few things. If you're like me and you had the old Runcam model, you thought the Runcam 2 HD2 would be amazing. And, I mean, it's good. It just has some flaws that you can work with. And this is what I want to cover in the video. Now, one part of the video is, with this camera, a lot of people, like myself, have the camera come in and the lens is out of focus. And you can tell in your videos that it's just not quite the sharp camera it should be, and you think that you have a defective model, or maybe the HD camera is not as good. That's actually not true. That is just the camera lens is just out of focus. I'll cover how to do that today. Another one is the actual microphone is pretty bad. The stock microphone is terrible. I'm gonna be honest. It's nowhere near the first Runcam, which is a little bizarre. You think the next one would be the better. It's almost unusable. And should you be really using a microphone for a quad, other things you're gonna be flying? I like it. I want to have a microphone in there. Sometimes I would like to just point and shoot my videos and just use one camera if I need to, because why not? I don't really have that many subscribers too, so it's not like I have to have multiple camera angles, to hit those 30 views. Wow, so amazing. Anyways, I already did the mods, but I'm gonna go over quickly how I did them. And first one we'll go over is the lens mod, how to adjust it, and then I'll go over how I did the microphone mod. And you can kind of already see maybe it's already done, but again, let's just go over it. First thing is, you have the battery door, right? So just remove the battery door. And previously I had a mod where I had the credit card stuck in there, and that works great. I highly recommend checking out the video, and that's for people that have when they're flying, that sometimes if they land hard or any kind of jerky movement, the battery just slides out a little bit and just disconnects, causing you to lose all your video and the power go on completely. This is so simple and it works great. Can't recommend enough. There are 4 screws on the bottom, and you need a good Phillips screwdriver, meaning you need like the right size. These things are on there pretty hard. Otherwise, you'll start turning them and think they're spinning, but you're actually just stripping the heads. You don't want to strip that. It makes it so much harder. So remove the 4 screws here, and then there's 2 screws down here. You want to remove those. Once you have that done, you can remove the lens cover, and then you just slide this apart. Notice though that the camera itself here, the lens part, will be stuck in there, and this will be hard to remove. Be gentle with it because there's a ribbon that you don't want to bend. You can easily just slowly start to pry this guy until it comes loose, and she'll come loose. Now with the lens, I highly recommend you pop this guy off, and then you pull the ribbon here, and the lens just comes out. Just be gentle, but it's pretty sturdy. Just you don't want to bend that ribbon, otherwise it'll ruin the lens and it won't work anymore. So yeah, pop this guy out. Make sure you keep that somewhere safe, and then just slide the lens out, and then you'll be able to focus on working on the lens. And you can't see it here, but there's glue there. You'll see it on yours. It's wrapped around. It's holding this lens in from being adjusted. And what I did is just simply take an X-Acto knife, and you want to cut in here, right on that point right there, like you're flush with where this part is, where the camera screws in, and then you just go around enough that you go around the whole entire lens, where you just break that connection from the glue to the base here. Once that's done, you'll have this little cover here. You just remove that guy. It slides right off, and then just hold this base down here snug and try to twist this loose, and that'll eventually disconnect the glue residue from the base that's on the lens. Then I recommend screwing it up completely loose, and then you'll be able to just cut the part of the glue off and then just unravel it as you go. And once that's done, you'll be able to then adjust this lens as freely as possible. I forgot to mention that once you get the glue off and everything, plug it back in. Stupido. Now, how to adjust the lens is because you can't see what it exactly is focusing now, and I would not recommend recording, seeing what it looked like. All right, let's make some adjustments. Go back. That would be a nightmare. What I recommend is I recommend you connect your phone with the app, which is not the greatest. I have some. It's kind of painful, but it's worth it in this point, so that you can see what the lens looks like live. And if you unscrew it under the glue, you'll see it's out of focus, which is good. That point is the tricky point is you have to hold the battery in, And you could put a rubber band or whatever, because if you disconnect the power, everything shuts off. You have to do this whole process again. So this can be quite painful. But in that point is you'll be able to see what the camera's looking at. Use your phone or tablet, which I recommend better because you can see a better resolution of it. Granted, it's not streaming completely HD, but it's good enough. And that you can just twist the lens, look back at your phone to see, all right, is it in focus? No, keep going. And I would target an object that's far away, a good amount of distance. And the best thing I would say was look for text, and you can see, like, does it look like it's in focus? Is it sharper? You keep adjusting. And you don't have to be perfect. You can really overthink this. But getting within range where you can see the text that looks a little bit clear, and then keep going a little bit more just to see that the changes you made do reflect what you want or not. You'll be able to see, and you'll get a better idea once you start doing that. Another thing is you can plug it in and you can hook it up to an existing quad, or if you have an FPC system laying around that you can broadcast what the actual camera is seeing, a first-person view. That might be a little better because it'll give you better quality and you'll be able to be more accurate. I found though that I was able to simply do this with the phone instead, and it was a little easier. But again, it's up to you. Just make sure you plug this in, you have its FTPC system set up right where you're streaming the live feed, put in your goggles, and just start adjusting this slowly to see if it looks clear on your screen, and you'll be able to tell. Now with the cameras, take the lens back off same way, and you'll have the lens completely, you have this area completely exposed. Now what you'll need to do is you'll need a soldering iron for this, and you'll need to heat up the 2 points. Notice that the top part is positive and the bottom part is negative. Now this is going to be the trickiest part. This is hard. You have no room really to work with, and your hands need to be very accurate. So you need to heat up these 2 points, and then you need to pull away the old microphone. And again, this is not that easy. It's not that simple. It's kind of hard. This is a harder task. I would say you need to have some skill to do this. Once you get that unsoldered, you may or may not have to add more solder, up to you. You'll be able to tell though. Then heat up the 2 points and make sure you connect positive and negative. Once you do that, make sure it's soldered in there really well. And then I would recommend at this point plugging everything back in. Don't connect everything, but turn the camera on, do a quick recording, and then make sure that the microphone is plugged in correctly. By once it's done, pull out the card, put it in, listen to it, play back on your device, and you'll be able to tell if it was working or not. And you should notice a big difference. I did. Putting this back in, why do I have so much length here? Well, this camera is tiny, and it's tiny for a reason. It needs the space when it gets settled in there. It simply won't fit. So what I did is I added some cable length. And the reason being is because I'm not going to mount it exactly where the stock placement had it. I'm going to find a spot I found a spot over here where I'm crossing it over. And there, I mean, this is not the greatest point, but given what the specs are with the stock microphone. Okay, so there, you can see that I was able to get the microphone in the side here. And I just ran the wires around here. You can see it there. And then it's actually not loose too, so if I shake it, you won't hear you won't hear the microphone rattling. It's actually snug in there. It's kind of a painful process, but make sure the cable length before you do all this is just the right amount. And where I got that microphone, I'll put a link below, but I found off this guy had a Xiamoi YI camera, and he posted that the Xiamoi cameras microphones, actually this is the Xiamoi YI. The microphones aren't the greatest for quads. You get a lot of wind resistant noise. I just took it apart. This is like $3, not even, and just grabbed the wiring and I just cut it. And then I actually replaced the wires with stuff that was already there because the cables were exposed. So I don't want them touching each other and shorting out. So I just grabbed some other cable. You don't have to have copper wiring. I mean, you can. It'll help, but it's not necessary. We're not really recording HD audio, but this is better. But yeah, you can see the microphone in there. It's snug, and then it's pointed down here where these heat shields are. So I can, just if I want to give it a little more exposure, I can just modify the holes by making them a little bit larger. If I want to have some more audio in that area, it can't hurt. So here's a quick look at the results of the holes I made really quick. I didn't drill them, like I said. I just put the X-Acto knife in here and I just scraped them loose, and I just blew away the debris. And I did that from the other side as well, just to give the microphone to have some more exposure. You know what? I mean, if you want to drill, go for it. Do whatever method. You may not even have to do this. I'm just doing it just to give it a little more exposure, so I can, say the word exposure about 100 times, but also capture more audio. It'll give it some more exposure, as I say. Also, too, like this will be mounted on top of the quad, so when the quad is moving, the microphone used to be here, so you'll get airflow. You'll hear a lot of wind resistance. This is pointed down, so the airflow won't really be caught up here. I know that I just tested it, and everybody's like, wow, this thing's a complete different camera now. So that's cool. I found that with this wiring set up here, you may need to break this part loose right here. It's not really needed. The camera is, the lens is in there snug. This is going to hold it in place, and this is going to hold it in place as well. Break this off a little bit, and use the needle pliers. Probably the easiest way to do this. Just make it so it's clean enough so that the camera can this case can go back over the camera lens perfectly. You may need to break a little bit more loose with the X-Acto knife. Just be careful. Don't cut yourself. I don't want comments saying, "Dude, bro, I followed your advice and now I'm missing a thumb. What the pith, bro?" None of that. As you can see, the microphone right here, and the hole is already made. I figured I have a windscreen laying around. As you can see, it's not really useful for me, as I've cut this and used this for other microphones, and these are pretty helpful to block out wind noise. And you'll get a lot of wind noise with quads because you're moving pretty quick, and there's props, there's a lot of factors. So I figured I'd cut out a little piece here, stick it right in here, in between the microphone, and the best thing to do is not have this compressed. Otherwise, when you compress it, it doesn't work as effective. So let me add that really quick. Doesn't have to be perfect, just to get in there. Oh my God, I'm making so many that's what she said jokes. It's not even funny. Actually, it is funny. Okay, let me just shove it in there. See? So right there at the bottom of the base should be enough to cover the microphone. I'm not leaving a lot of room to compress, so I might actually end up compressing it. When you compress the screen together, it doesn't really filter out the wind noise, it just puts it together. You want them to be a little poofy so the wind can get lost in that. There we go, that should be good. That's at the bottom part, and you can see the wind filter is there. It's all covered for the most part. Alright, let's just put it together. That went in like flint. So now you can see it. Windscreen's right here, and any airflow that will go in, it will hit the mic, which is the face of the microphone is right here flat. So this is where all the sound would enter. So if air is going in here or around it and causing turbulence or anything like that, at least this will provide some filtering, so it won't be like. Alright, let's put it back together and test it out. Okay, this is testing the audio with the case cover now. This is testing talking directly underneath where the microphone is and blowing wind directly on it. This is testing directing wind over it. And this is testing the audio quality from here, normal recording position. This is testing recording over here. Yeah. So I'm in my doorway here, and I'm about ready to test make sure that the focus did work, and we're testing the audio. So I might sound a little tunnely right now. That's just because I'm in the doorway. I have the Runcam attached to my quad right now in the front. Never mind, it's raining. Oh damn, I'm not flying in the rain. That's how you break stuff. Done that before. Looks like it in the house it is. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Post replies. Let me know. I'm more than happy to go over this stuff because I don't want to don't like anyone else struggling. I want them to have fun and enjoy their equipment. So yeah, bye.